Welcome to Joe's Astrology, and I am going to talk about famous YouTubers' astrology today. This is going to be the chart of Austin Dunham. I think he has somewhere around 1 million subscribers. He's really good with calisthenics. And this is going to be the first video. I've already done a couple of videos. This is going to be the first video in a series that I'm going to attempt to do on famous YouTubers such as Austin Dunham, Jordan Peterson, Andrew Tate. Now, I'm not going to have as much information as I would like, but I'm going to attempt to break down and analyze some of their chart based on what we already know about them. I'm going to try to contrast and compare the different YouTubers, how they got to where they are based on astrology, why they are where they are based on astrology. Maybe you can see in your life if you have similar aspects in your chart, how you can do similar things as them. You might not become as famous as them or have as many followers, but you can still learn. I think you can learn a lot from these videos. So yeah, let's get into the first one. Here is Austin Dunham. Okay, so we don't have the birth time, or at least I don't have the birth time of Austin. Don't have the location either. I'm just going to put somewhere in Florida because that's where I think he's based. And most likely that's where he was born, although that might not be true. So here we're going to look at, because we don't have the time, we're just going to look at the sun first. It's in Capricorn. And it's at 11 degrees. And let's just expand this here. And let's look at all of this. So the sun is at 11 degrees. It's making a conjunction with Neptune right here. And the sun in Capricorn, and it's in the Taurus decan, so it's kind of like a combination of Saturn and Venus. So this person's sun, main part of his life is going to be him acquiring, at a very fundamental level, acquiring money, land, money, resources. This is what this guy's going to be about, no matter whatever he chooses to do. But in this case here, we have this, it's conjunct that Neptune. And Neptune is a teacher. And it's in the Virgo at 24 degrees. It's in the Virgo decan. So Neptune can be a spiritual teacher. It can be a high-level teacher. It can be an artistic person. It can be someone who is interested in the arts, someone who's interested in beauty, someone who's interested in helping people. And he's got that conjunction there with the sun. So we can see it even with it being in Virgo, we could say, I would interpret it as a guy who, from what I can see and looking from it online and looking at his chart, just from here, these symbols can mean a guy who is helping people get in shape, because that's what he does with his calisthenics. That goes along with the Virgo, with servicing, healing people, healing the body. And just as important, we have Jupiter here at 29 degrees, which is an important degree. So Jupiter is going to be very important in his chart. It's in Sagittarius, the sign where we find the teacher, the guru, the teacher, the traveler, the salesperson. And this is a guy, here is at 29 degrees, that would be the Leo decan. This is a guy who is teaching online. He's presenting, Leo, his creative abilities, Leo, online. He's presenting himself as the teacher, as the guru. And it's at 29 degrees. Again, making that Jupiter more powerful in this life, more important for him to use that Jupiter. So now we move here to Mars. Mars is making a conjunction there with the Neptune that makes a conjunction with the Sun, and it's also making a conjunction with Uranus. So with this Mars Neptune, he's got a lot of drives. Everything I just described about helping people, teaching people, he's got a drive to do this. When he goes online, he's making videos to get to the point where he is. This guy's going to put in work to do it. If it takes 5-6 videos a day for 5 years, he's going to do it. And I don't know the complete history, but I bet if I looked back, he's made a lot of videos and put a lot of work into what he's done on his channel. Now we have Uranus also at 29 degrees. So Uranus here is making this, yes, it's making this conjunction to this Mars, which is making him very dynamic, very electrical, a person who, I mean, dynamic is probably the best word. If he was an athlete, he could be like really talented at being at his sport. He could be, you could see with what he's doing with the internet. We could say Uranus represents the internet and the YouTube. He's driven to do that as well with that Mars there. Very driven to be on the internet creating. And with the Jupiter there at 29 degrees, this is a person who's advanced and advanced mentally, advanced in the sense that he's ahead of the times. He's very interested in being ahead of the times. He's perfect for the Aquarian age, perfect for the internet. I'm not going too fast here. Sometimes I have no idea who the viewers are and what level of astrology you're at. So I'm trying to make it as basic as possible and point out the most important things, as opposed to saying he's a Capricorn Sun, which makes him ambitious, and all the basic stuff that you hear about astrology. And I mean, that can be part of it too. There's a lot of Capricorn here that can make him more ambitious than, say, if he was a Cancer. But a Cancer can be just as ambitious as a Capricorn. So all of the signs can be very ambitious. So also we have that Uranus at 29 degrees. It's in the Virgo decan. So anytime you see planet in a sign, you have to check the degree, and the sign is split up into 3 sets of 10. The first 10 degrees being a pure Capricorn, the second 10 degrees having Taurus integrated into it, and the third decan having Virgo integrated into that Capricorn, which is another reason why it's hard to say all Capricorns are one way. Because if you have, for example, I have a friend who's an early degree Capricorn, and he represents a lot of the attributes he expresses as a basic Capricorn, like being ambitious, using people, trying to climb the social status ladder, etc. Where then you have another Capricorn who might be a late degree Capricorn with that Virgo. He's more interested in helping people and servicing others. And it's not that the other Capricorn isn't interested in that. It's just, I would just say the second one is, if you're observing him, that's what it appears like on the outside. So moving along here, he also has Mercury here at 1 degrees Aquarius, ruled by Uranus, conjunct Uranus, and conjunct that whole stellium. So everything in this chart, or everything I just described so far, is also moving towards Aquarius, with that Mercury leading the way, that Mercury-Uranus leading the way, which is more of that dynamism, genius quality, someone who's very interested in the internet and futuristic things. He also has Venus here in Aquarius. And you can see Venus at 14 degrees. It's in the Gemini decan, where he has his moon. So not only does it have all the positive qualities to be an internet marketer and an internet and a YouTuber, a popular YouTuber, this Venus at 14 degrees Aquarius making a trine, that's what this blue line is for, to that moon in Gemini at 7 degrees. Having that earth and air, especially Gemini, makes him really it suggests it can make a person a very good salesman, a speaker, very good at communicating. Now, he may have worked on his communication over the years, but early in his life, I think this chart's showing 28 years old, this guy has worked on his communication. He's an excellent communicator for what he needs to do on the internet. And he's shown it in real life that he's a pretty good communicator in real life as well, with some of the interviews and things that he's done live. But that Gemini moon, very important for being someone who speaks on the internet. And we're going to see with some of the other charts, if you stick with me, you're going to see that Gemini moon is going to be a common theme here with these YouTubers. Saturn in Pisces. Again, Saturn being in the Cancer decan at 19 degrees in Pisces. Someone for his work is doing something that's very much in the dream world, and that goes back to that Neptune. That this is also making a sextile to that Neptune sun. Somebody who is doing something that's to most people is a dream. And this is showing a lot of this stuff is showing why he's successful at YouTube. And if a person doesn't have this, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't be a YouTuber. It might mean that you're probably not going to have 1 million subscribers, no matter what you do. Or it might not even be that. It might not be that you just don't have the interest level and the dedication that a chart like this that a person that has this chart has. It's where the interest level for him is much higher. For you, you might start it and then you'll fall off and maybe do something else and come back to it later. Maybe you just don't have the desire to make it that big, but you could still be a YouTuber. But I want to point out that this is a person who is more likely than not going to be a YouTuber in this life. Also say here with this Venus that he makes his money through Aquarius or the internet, especially at 14 degrees. You could say he makes his money selling on the internet and speaking on the internet, teaching on the internet. Let's move on here to there's more we could say about that aspect of the chart, but let's move on here to Pluto. I really like a Sagittarius Pluto, and that's where he is Pluto at 2 degrees. We don't know what house it is, but I believe all the people born with Pluto and Sagittarius are slightly, at the very least, bent towards philosophy, learning, being a truth seeker. And I've seen it in my life. A lot of the younger people I've been around, I really enjoy talking with them, even if we disagree. I just feel like they are interested in the things I have to say, more so than, say, Pluto and Scorpio. He's got his North Node here in Libra, South Node in Aries. So we could say also he's coming from this place of Aries. I know he's famous for being like seemingly like a skinny kid who works really hard and becomes really strong and muscular and a really good-looking guy in his 20s. But here we have a guy who the place he's coming from is very Mars-like. So it could be a guy who's coming from a place who, if you're into like reincarnation, past lives, he was into this kind of thing in a past life. Martial arts, sports, bodybuilding. And here you can see he's bringing it, in this life, the North Node, he's bringing it to other people. He's relating what he's learned to other people. So it's a perfect almost perfect nodal axis for what he's about. You can also see it's at 23 degrees, which is the degree of Neptune here. It's making a square, squaring that north node in Libra. Now, if you watch some of his content, he also talks a lot about using internet dating. He's very big on internet dating apps. And this goes along with that north node in Libra. I don't think he talks about his personal life that much, but he is in this life is definitely learning a lot about relationships. Certainly he might be learning about internet relationships, but you could see what he's interested in relationships. He's interested in being someone who wants to learn about the social dynamics of things. And he's been speaking about that a lot in his videos as well. So this is a big money guy. We can look at his part of fortune as well. It's right here. This cross in the circle, and it's in Virgo, 3 degrees in Virgo. And you'd think this guy could have part of fortune in Aquarius, for sure. He could have part of fortune in Leo. Part of fortune making his money off the internet. I don't know if he makes most of his money off the internet. I don't even know. But if that's the case, you could put the part of fortune in Aquarius. You could put the part of fortune in Leo, because he's really a big creator as well. Now, if I knew him personally, I might be able to see why it's in Virgo and not in those other places. But I'm going to take a guess here and make some guesses. And I'm going to say that it's in Virgo because of all the focus on the body. Because the body is what? Improving the body through food, through diet, through exercise, working out, calisthenics. That's Virgo. And that's what he's selling. Or part of what he's selling. And if you really got to know the person, and he really did genuinely, truly, that Neptune here, Neptune Sun was really trying to help people and improve people's lives. That's Virgo, and heal people. That's Virgo as well. So that's why that part of fortune. Those are the reasons why that part of fortune is perfect right there in Virgo. I want to get a little bit more into the aspects. It's going to be that line right there. There's an aspect between Pluto. This is Pluto and that Mercury-Uranus conjunction. And that's a sextile that's known as an opportunistic aspect, something that gives you benefits in life. And Pluto is the planet of uncovering deep mysterious things. People that are into psychology have a strong Pluto, and here he has Pluto with that sextile Mercury. Mercury is the conscious brain, the conscious mind. This is a guy who's into psychology, and you can see with some of his videos, they're becoming more psychological, and that with the observing social dynamics. He's got a really, he's got a good mind for uncovering deep and maybe even dark things with people, or even in his own life. He may even be someone who's done a lot of shadow work on himself. And someone like that can help a lot of people as well because of this aspect and the work that they've done on themselves. If anyone knows Austin's birth location and birth time, please reach out, and you can email me at joeastrologer.com. You can reach out to me here on YouTube. And if Austin's watching this, I would love to give you a live astrology reading if that's something you're interested in. And anyone else out there who's looking for an astrology reading, I have really affordable, great rates right now. And I have great reviews on Google. If you look me up, Joe's Astrology on Google, you can see some of my reviews. And look forward to some of the other charts I'm going to look at. I'm going to look at Mark Passio. I'm going to look at Andrew Tate, Grant Cardone, Jordan Peterson.